with these bans.
Okay, we have WE on blue side, BLG first picking. What is it going to be? Where's that priority going to fall? We've seen Jarvan as something that's been picked quite a lot early on into these drafts. Orianna is gone, so that does leave Ryze as well, the common mid laners. So now, question marks appearing for Karis. Where do we default to? Do we take a typical control mage match? Cassiopeia has been buffed a few times. The Aurora decent flex is something that we've seen in play, and gave one of the few quite promising plays in their first series where he went in, solo killed the enemy jungle while they were taking dragon and nearly stole it. So we will be seeing that retained. Not bad at all.
Yeah, I like it. I think the ability to just make a wide-reaching impact in some of these fights is going to be really important for Karis. I am worried that he might get shoved in a little bit by Knight and not be able to roam as effectively. This Jarvan coming through for Monki is a great start, right? Well, let's go through and flag and drag all around, make some plays happen, get some assists, and at times you don't really have to worry about your clear as much.
Absolutely. And it's also something that I think when I was trying to imagine how WE really makes a comp nowadays, Jarvan was a champion that kept coming back up in my mind. If you want Monki on something that can be an early playmaker, can allow him to go for some of his egregious invades, but preferably on the bot side, and then set up for ganks to get about and Erha into a good state of the game. So far, what WE have looked good for let's, take this mid duo and go the hell to a side lane and make something happen there. We do have the Varus match, and now thinking about whether we're going to get a top lane blind here or potentially a bot lane pickup. It will be the Jace locked in.
All right, we'll see what changes with BLG strategy. It's likely that this Varus is going to go to the bottom side, but Bin hasn't played the Varus yet. We did talk about wanting to see BLG flex their muscles a little bit. I'd like to see him on this champion at least once during the season. I really like what Team WE has put together, but I am worried for a lot of their fights. You don't have the member of the team that can stay in these fights for too long. It's really only Bruiser Jarvan. This does mean that they are pouring more resources into Cube, and they tried last time out, and it did not work against Top Esports. And I fail to see why they're going back to the well here, Melvin. I'm a little upset at that.
Yeah, there's two schools of thought, since BLG have been pretty, not one note, but they've been pretty telegraphed in sending all their resources top. The two ways you approach that is either A, you send more resources top than them, hard to do, or B, you give Cube something that can sack the lane, like a Scion, and then put all your resources bot. Evidently, from the draft, we're going with option A in game one. I tend to agree with you. I don't like it. I would have much preferred them give more of that focus to their bottom lane. We'll just have to see how it plays out. And with both the Yorick and the Psalm banned away, depending on how Bin's feeling, I'm smelling a potential Camille angle.
That'd be pretty spicy. I would be more than happy to see that. Still waiting for this last ban coming out of BLG. They've put a lot of focus on this bot lane, and Team WE has elected to wait to pick their bot lane for later on in this draft. So not doing them any favors, but as the expected fulcrum of this team moving forward, if WE want to make things happen in this split, they're going to need to play through a little bit of adversity even through the draft. Ezreal going to be the final ban out here. So now we're just waiting. Are we going to pick a support that's going to roam around a little bit? Yeah. Are we going to pick a carry that you can leave alone with this Varus on the other side?
Looking at the bans, Nami's still open, so Corki Nami is probably the best, tier 1 bot lane you could lock in right now. Lucian Nami also fine, if that's the way you want to go, and I don't mind it considering how much go forward the WE comp is as of current. They are very much one to be running at you. I don't expect On to steal away the Nami here. Now the question is, how normal will we get for a champion pick from On, the man who has brought out both Anivia and Camille himself in recent times? So I'm curious if they have a cook, since we have seen the Lucian and Nami duo start to pop back up into prevalence. Could also be the Lucian Milio if we do see this Nico locked in. A very good answer into that Nico ultimate, basically immediately turning off the stun that she can get off should she ever be allowed in the first place.
It's been one of On's better champions as well. Makes life very difficult for Lucian. You are no longer really able to get advantages in lane unless a major mistake is made. You're going to have to play for that mid game, and Best is going to be the final lock-in. That should go up top to Bin. A little bit boring, not going to lie, out of BLG, but hey, if they're playing boring, that means they are serious and locked in and looking to make this game a quick one. Nami will be the final pick for Team WE. So Team WE, a team that does not have a lot of scaling. We are looking for them to spike early and spike hard. I like it. I actually think that this is a good discernible strategy that they can make as long as they don't twist their ankle out of the gate, Melvin. They should have a shot at being able to play this game out.
A very important asterisk to lay out there is something that, given just the potential execution gap, that is really the main thing, because conceptually, completely agree. When you know you're against a better opponent wholesale, like pound for pound, you aren't saying that WE should have a chance in this kind of game. But if you could completely blow them out of the water in the first 5 to 10 minutes, there's really an angle there. And we have seen Lucian, potentially even going with something like the First Strike or the Electrocute at the moment, have a lot of unexpected burst. And as we already called back to, Elk demonstrated in the last game, getting bursted out level 3 is something that can really take down even the best of ADCs. So maybe there's an angle, potentially if we see Monki down here, maybe even a Cheese level 2 gank, I would really love to see coming out from WE.
I agree. I think you have to get going and make plays before you hit level 6 over on the side of BLG, because their team fighting is fantastic, right? When you've got Varus ultimate, you've got Nico ultimate, you get to really control a lot of these objectives, and you know, that means that Team WE are going to have to really play around these ultimates. And if they can successfully do that, then that means the fights can go their way. But if they're unable to do so, it can really disrupt what they're looking to do. And as long as BLG can disrupt them, they don't have to outright win in the early mid game, right? They can just be like, all right, we've limited what you guys can do. Now it's our turn to win the game as it goes later.
Yep, and some excellent disruption tools in pocket.
Let's see what Team WE has, if they can grit their teeth and show some fight against BLG. We're on Summoner's Rift for Game 1 of the final series of the day. That guy sign saved him.
That's funny, I didn't notice that.
I don't know. I glanced at it and thought for a second I saw an M there. Maybe that's some secret tech that I don't know about. I'm just a guy living in New Jersey. I wouldn't know too
We're
much.
out here thinking about BIM, but we never really considered the BIM in the equation. Oh my god, Monkey's already invaded. I was like,
I love that.
The BIM conversation completely threw me for a second there, because I was looking at them like, oh, it's a standard bot lane path. We get some early aggro. At least Monkey's fishing for something.
Very nice trade from Team WE to kick things off, as Viper's Q did not land onto a bout. Quite happy with that. And so far, lane's looking very nice. BLG's pushed in. Hey, minute 50 seconds into the game, Team WE looking fire.
Yeah, and I do love this adaptation coming out right now, as we see we have Shun actually walk up and skip his Grump, because having Monkey already contest you on the first camp indicates, hey, he's probably going to do that again, especially as Jarvan. You can 3-camp off a Grump and 2 buffs and be in a really good state to just go and cause some chaos on the map. So making sure to guard both of his buffs shows a really good presence of mind coming out from the BLG jungler.
Really like Karis stopping Knight here, because this means that Knight's not going to be able to get a clean recall off, and Monkey has set himself up to be able to try and scrap with Shun, given the fact that he has skipped some camps on the bottom side. It could just be the reverse clear in order to try and make something happen for your bot lane, which it does look like.
I'm okay with. A versatile clear for Jarvan is something that he really loves to do, and considering how at the start of the game we were kind of posturing to wonder how much attention this Bin Cube matchup was gonna get, pre-6, Cube can get a lot done with just that raw range advantage, but then after level 6, Bin can always threaten the engage vault when it gets a bit scary. Monkey going for the invade, has got a defensive ward down, and the question is, will Shun go for the crab or come look in?
I'm going to be 31 in 2 days, and I've been playing League since 2013. Here comes the dive. Viper's in trouble. Viper goes down. It's first blood to a bout, and it's a simple and clean 1-0.
A swift execution also draws Shun back off of the grab back to his Gromp as well, but it looks like Monki won't be going to collect that one, just going to happily clear through his jungle. This is great. This is really promising. Cube also getting an incredibly favored trade topside.
Yeah, Cube looking good. I mean, you know, this is the ranged in a melee matchup. You are going to get the better of Ambessa in the lane, but when it comes to side laning later on is where Ambessa really starts to shine. We'll see if Cube can do what he could not last time out, build a lead and make an impact.
Now, Cube has traumatized me a little bit, and it was a matchup
same.
against 369 where I watched him dive under tower relentlessly and throw a lead that he had built up. As I'll
This
cut
is
back to the
crazy,
current.
by the way. That was
I
such
love
a
this.
good sidestep by Shun. Arha immediately flashing. He saw a glimpse. He was like,
Monkey's
I gotta get
coming
out of
down,
here.
though.
But now, yeah, but I don't think Monkey's gonna get here in time. About and Arha trying to do what they can. Good dash from About. Still has that barrier available for himself. He will use it, will go down. Viper quite low. They made it a 1-for-1. And you know, it's gonna be a 2-for-1 in just a moment. That auto attack wasn't quite gonna kill. Viper has nowhere to go.
Oh, that was absolutely beautifully executed from the WE bottom lane, though. I hope we get a replay just to point out how well About played that to really guarantee there was going to be a 2-for-1 in WE's favor, which is a sentence I don't think we were expecting to be saying or even fathoming coming into the match. So this is already incredibly promising from the team that we really needed to see something from.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this stems from BLG being the best team in this league. Let's call it what it is. Have a tendency to get aggressive because they'll be like, hey, we will hand check everyone. This is a team that really likes hand checking people. So when you're going up against this composition of Team WE that has a lot of early power to it, if you make these mistakes, they're going to punish you for it.
Absolutely, and with the amount of like love tap nerfs that we've had to the Lethality Varus over X amount of time, they just keep coming because, you know, we keep seeing the Lethality Varus. It's really good, but the more nerfs that we get to it, the more and more viable going for these early aggressive plays are, because it's all those base stat nerfs, those really just making sure he's not as oppressive in lane, not able to get as much of a lead. And when you're playing against Lucian Nami, well, they are very scary and very happy to take advantage of a weaker laner.
Dragon on the board here in this game. It is the Chemtech Drake. We'll hold that thought for a moment as Bin went all the way in onto Cube, but is not getting the better end of the trade for now. Good job there by Cube to hang tough. But we'll see what the move is going to be objective-wise. See, Grubs are not going to come up for about 2 more minutes. As Battle's going to go right after Viper with a solid trade back. Heal getting burnt as they want to keep this play going. The flash route onto Arha, but Shun is not able to get to the play first.
Yeah, you could see he was like really debating going for the flash wind becomes lightning to dash in there on the Zinzao, but called it off, wasn't confident that you'd be able to actually get the kill down. Knew Arha did not have flash, but at the end of the day, it's a bit of a desperation play from BLG, I will say, and Cube truly doing some work in this top lane. Let's hope he doesn't do that trauma event I talked about earlier.
All right, Bin is electing to stay. That shock blast does not land. Cube has missed a lot of them. Now we're going to look for a turn here, but Cube taking a turret shot, so Bin is able to defend his turf. We have a play going on in the bot lane here. Monkey is level 6, so does have the Cataclysm available. On is very dead. Viper is in a little bit of trouble as well. Bubble gets dodged on. Here comes Shun and the Rise. Managed to find another kill here, so it's a 2-for-0 for now, but the turnaround for BLG is strong to even this play up.
Will this turn into a bot lane mid 2v2 here? It looks like not. W don't want to take that chance. But at the end of the day, I think that W is still going to be walking away quite happy with that. Especially with where the wave died. That's a lot of XP and gold lost from Viper as Knight is now absorbing all of that wave. We do see BLG pivot their bot lane to go mid. Dragon's still up. And based on the start of this, it looked super winning for WE, but immediately, as soon as Monkey shows himself, we see on the minimap, Knight just legs it bot lane.
Hang on, we've got more plays going on here. It's On getting caught out and taken down. About gets kill number 4. He already has a BF sword with a serrated dirk in the inventory, and you really have to worry about the snowball here, Melvin.
Yeah, that is crazy, and the sidesteps that this guy's been putting out already have been super promising, and now we're fighting right next to it.
Looking for Monkey, immediately blows him up. Tidal Wave coming through just a little too late, and BLG immediately fire back and look at this dragon if they want.
Oh, yeah, okay. I just watched the inventory of Monki. He was sat on about almost 1,500 gold there before the base. So, yeah, just much weaker off than Shun in that instance. Okay, let's see how this goes with the first dragon being secured. It is a Chemtech, so it's honestly one of the more difficult ones to actually take. It will be a bit time-consuming. Does give Monki plenty of time to fish for a counterplay on the other side of the map. He does want to look at those grubs, or, sorry, I forgot it's Monki, go for an invade.
Yep. Well, you have the priority in the mid lane for right now with nobody else there, so you should be able to swipe this away, and it's likely that you're able to get some of these grubs as well if you want them. It'd be a very nice boon for Cube. It looks like it will be just the chickens into the grubs. I like this look here from Monki. Squeeze out whatever value you can.
Oh no.
We have roots, we have CC for days, and about dashes out, will manage to survive, but Arha's on the wrong side right now. Cullen gonna get blocked, and Viper finds Arha.
I saw the angle, what he was going for there. Aha was trying to walk out of the Varus Chains of Corruptions, barely didn't make it to the side, and then was just left to be, well, killed. There was nothing to be done there, no point burning summoners, but really heads up play nicely executed from BLG using those power level 6 buttons.
Public execution, Shun is there as well, and Monki is leaving his top laner out to dry. Nothing you can do. BLG has even up the kills, and they've taken the lead in gold less than 10 minutes in.
And the BLG hands check is kicking in well and truly, as now it is just... I'm not going to say it's a matter of time, but we do need to see WE stay on the gas pedal, because if you let off, as we've seen in the past few minutes, BLG do take advantage. They know exactly how to push any neutral
Oh no,
state.
Arha.
Oh no.
Oh, he takes the blast plant. Great sidestep from Viper. Heal gonna get forced out. So Arha has not had a great time.
Okay, he didn't burn flash though. That was the thing I was kind of waiting to happen. Go come back into lane on half HP. Does mean that a fight is still doable, and more importantly, you can dodge away next time on goes for one of those super engages with the Nico ult.
Oh, about getting rooted up here. Tidal Wave coming through, but it's going to split the gap between two. Viper flashing forward, caught him, and finds a bounce. The BLG bot lane has made an astounding comeback.
That's why he's a world champion, baby. That Viper was throwing the ult perfectly to block off the entire choke point. No juke angle, no matter how fancy the feat About has had on this Lucian. Does leave the game state in a bit of a weird spot now, because there's no objectives to take. It's just a lot of very gank angles. Like, there's not a lot to do. Neutral spawning again in 2 minutes 30 for that dragon, as question is, what will these junglers be able to get done between now and then, as Shun has quietly accumulated a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, it feels like from the moment he found Monki near the dragon, the pace has slowed for Team WE. We haven't really seen Monki make this impact elsewhere. See if he's able to stop a recall from Bin. That will not be the case, so just more time of Monki not doing much of anything right now.
Okay, we do have potential fishing for a play. Chains of Corruptions not up. There is only the two people. Don't let the Nico clone fool you. As honestly, I think this is the best early game WE have had for the split so far. Do you think that's fair to say?
I would agree, 100%. I think that they played the early lane very, very well. Made Monki make this early impact. It really thought that they were going to be able to carry a lot of that momentum moving forward, but I think BLG said, okay, we might have to take them a little bit more seriously, and they took off the gloves and have gone bare knuckle straight to the jaws of Team WE.
Most definitely, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you're making BLG have to take you seriously, that is the first step to being able to get something done in this group ascend. You really do need to just find that way to play, and so far this is looking promising. On going for the trademark Lucky Day play, hiding in the minion wave, is found out immediately by a bubble. Will have to back off, but I think BLG are just really going to overstep here and try and force this play and see if WE go for the chase down.
Monki is on the way bottom, but it looks like they might be calling this one off. They're going to move up as a group toward this crab, knowing that it's likely Monki could be there. It's on playing as Shun for the moment. So we will see if get any sort of impact here.
Just going to be walking away, probably, as we are waiting to find out where will be Dragon spawning in just a few seconds. It's all about the setup now, getting that early vision down, and I think we're going to have a quick break.
Not an actual break, but a break from the game for the moment, Melvin. And I have to say, I'm actually quite sad that this game has progressed the way it has for Team WE. I always love a good upset. I really hope that they were going to be able to carry a lot of their gameplay to this point in the game instead of finding themselves down like they are right now. And I mean, it's a big credit to BLG. I think BLG has done a great job of fighting to recapture that lead.
100%. You really can see the moment where BLG's kind of way of approaching the game completely pivoted and realized what W was going for, all this bot lane aggression. And then from that point onwards, Shun and Knight made a really conscious decision to hover that bot lane persistently, leveraging that Rise ultimate to swing a play back into a neutral state, as now we are back in the game. BLG have secured Dragon.
Oh, bye Karis. They've secured him too.
Ooh,
and
did trade it for top tier one though.
Yep, very nice. Again, we need to see Cube make a discernible impact in this game.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Well, with a little bit of a gold influx, it looks viable, as does already have that Serpent's Fang secured. Now we are back into the full swing of things. Also going to pick himself up 2 delicious plates in the top lane. Going to be very pleased with that. Will he get
Thanksgiving dinner for the man? 2 plates. Sometimes you got to go back for a second one. On looking to try and find the top laner of Team WE. Bin's auto attack, not quite enough Bluetooth on that one to be able to hit him. So we'll immediately teleport back to the lane. Let's take a look at this replay and what we missed.
Do you all just play-by-play it? Because obviously we don't know what's about to happen.
Oh, you know what? This is a great idea. So On gets onto the backside here, finds the double pop blossom. We can play-by-play the picture-in-picture too, as Cube immediately teleports into trouble, but the counter-teleport is going to start coming through. Now Team WE might find a fight that they fancy. Karis trying to get in, looking for On, who's at half HP, and is running him down, but he hits the clone, not the real one. Play foiled, and Knight on the bottom side will feast.
Really lovely little sidestep from On to avoid the slow and ultimate demise that would have followed. WE, though, will keep the tempo going and secure this Rift Herald with a 3-plate tower in the mid lane. I think it won't take many questions to wonder where this Herald is likely to be going. Removing mid lane tier 1 against champions like Rise with the semi-global ults, like Varus, who love just chain wave clearing, is so important.
Cube? Uh-oh, Cube is in a lot of trouble. Viper is getting right in his mitt to pop that ultimate and looking to pop Cube along with Knight. They will get the job done. It's Viper picking that one up, and BLG have been all in the face of Team WE since the start of this.
That must have been some raw confusion from Cube. Of all the people you expect to be running around the corner, I bet there was like a good few seconds where, is this Nico? Is this Nico? Is this Nico? And then they throw out the blighted arrows. It's like, what? Okay, a Varus is Yomu's at me, but with the plated steel caps in inventory, Viper feeling very confident with himself, as now we'll just take over the mid lane. We have a moment of respite. Again, 2 minutes 30 until the Dragon spawns.
Big damage, calling as well. Viper going to flash away, but here comes On, and they're going to be able to catch out Karis. The turnaround is there to be able to make this a 1-for-1 for the moment, and BLG won't be able to find more.
He is mid lane for support, so not exactly an even trade, but when you consider it is both flashes down for the ADCs, definitely going to be happy of that for the team with the Jarvan.
I'm going to drop Herald in the mid lane here, trying to get more gold into a bout. You need to do that at this point, right? This is a composition where Lucian can take over in this phase of the game once you can get him on 2 items, and honestly, it could be the last gasp for Team WE, because if you're not able to turn that into a lead, you are not going to win the game.
Especially considering BLG are already 2-0 up on the Dragon front. This is going to be the sole point fight. If you lose that, does mean that BLG just get to dictate the tempo for the rest of the game. That was a narrow little... I don't think it was even a sidestep. I think it was... Shun thought he was seen and wasn't seen, so when he threw out the ability, he was doing it at the angle where you expect someone to juke. Whatever it is, going to be very happy for Karis to be alive at this current moment, because Monki is hunting Bin.
Sure, Cataclysm is going to go down. Bin might fancy himself a turnaround here. He's stuck in a 2v1. Ultimate goes down, but his health bar continues to drop. And they have the damage to take him out.
Beautiful, beautiful play, and perfect timing for it. because Jarvan is likely to have that Cataclysm back up for the Dragon contest, and it gives a really open map for WE to play around. Cube can potentially fish for his base, pick up the Mirror Mana if he got enough gold off the back of that, and have 2 full completed items going into this all-important fight.
Yeah, you can kind of hang your hat on Lucian and Chase. As long as Cube gets there before the fight breaks out, he's able to land a couple of shock blasts. This will be very beneficial for Team WE, but if he just teleports in, well, again, it looks like that's what the scenario is going to be. You're not going to get as much value out.
Okay, he does get the recall off first. Let's see what he ends up picking up in the inventory. Does he complete that item? Yes, he does. Okay, so now it's just a few stacks away from being done. Bin also has the TP, so can join both with the Unleashed TP, so the big shield will be on top of it. Keep an eye out for the ADCs. Reminder, neither of them have flash this fight.
Cube able to link up with the team. Dragon has not been started, so this is a very good position for Team WE. First Shock Blast is going to do not much, but going to crack the Celestial opposition, while Bin will push on a side lane here and look to take this tier 1 turret.
Be a lot of gold accumulated for him. He will be TPing away on Vision though, should he choose to do it, so WE have at least that heads up knowledge. Dragon is aggroed and Bin so far not looking for the teleport yet. Now he's going.
Alright, well, he's going to teleport near the red buff here. Dragon at about 4,000 HP. Anna's going to be able to get on the backside with that Hex Gate. He's going to look for an opportunity here. 3,000 HP and dropping his Team WE are back off the Dragon a little bit. They're going to turn around and secure it by Shun, and now he's going to go into the middle of the fight. Public Execution gets Bin onto the back line, doing a lot of damage, and now we've got some trouble. Cube gets knocked up with a nice Pop Blossom, and Team WE cannot stand up to the might of BLG. That is an ace at 20 minutes in, and the Baron will be theirs.
The man in the top lane makes it happen. We talked about disruption, and guess what? There's not more disruptive than Ambessa Madada landing on your ADC.
Not much you can do. Team WE started this game out hot, and BLG quickly extinguishing their flames, and they are the ones on fire. The Baron will be theirs. They will have about a 5,000 gold lead.
Wow. Doing a very, very clean job of getting this game in their favor. And honestly, I really thought WE could have forced the ticket earlier, but they were so afraid of the Nico and Bessa flank, they didn't want to all funnel into the river. Meant that Shun just got to get the free secure. Perfect public execution. About nearly has enough damage to take down Bin, but just simply not able to get it done. Literally the teleport shield keeping Bin alive throughout this fight maybe would have made the difference if About could have killed him and walked out there. But as for where we find ourselves in the current game state, BLG looking to siege. The second mistake that BLG made against JDG was somebody on overstepping and getting one shot while they have Baron.
Oof.
Will it happen again?
Oh, look at this damage that Shun's putting out. He just solos. Just solo him on the backside. He's all alone. Now Bin's going to link up with his jungler who... listen, we've seen him play for the team, but he is being feisty for himself. He will be forced to flash away from the culling. But BLG in complete control.
That was pretty much, if what I saw in their first series was the bad ending of a Baron push, that was the good ending of a Baron push. Really nice, just completely denying Karis any ability to play this game, and with one of those dive threats off the table. Okay,
they know the flank is coming.
This is wild.
All right, so they found Shun. Shun will fall. Now Knight's going to be the next domino, but they're looking to be the ones to knock some people down. Monki, About, and Arha looking to link up with Cube to take down the rest of BLG. Walls are starting to close in.
Crazy.
All right, Karis looking to get around the corner here, but it looks like BLG's gotten back together, and Bin is shredding them like lettuce on that backside. Still relatively healthy. About flashes away, rooted up, and Knight will find him, and now Cube finds himself with a lot of enemy health bars around him, and he goes down next. BLG, these are the first stand champions. Even when they're down early, they still find a way to crush their opposition underfoot.
Using that Realm Warp, they're going to walk it over to mid, look to knock down a second inhib, playing this game incredibly respectfully. I honestly could have seen them just Realm Warping the Nexus Towers and going for it there, but giving WE the respect that before this game, I don't think many people would have thought they deserved.
No doubt about it. Monki desperately trying to get to On. He's
Viper?
not going to be able to do so. Viper flashing forward. No fear out of this guy. Chains of corruption. Ouch! Karis will fall too. It's a double kill for Viper, but here comes about the bubble for the speed up. Ebb and flow calling, but here comes Shun, and about immediately has to exit. There is nothing they can do, but a teleport comes in, and Bin just catches Cube, says, all right, welcome, step in for the fight of your life, and you will not be able to survive
Shun
this
back on the bot lane.
because here comes On with the flash forward. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, no, we're going back over here. Cube's dead. We knew that was going to happen. Let's be real.
Whoa, okay, well, I mean, it's good to see that WE continuing to try and force the ticket, realizing if BLG get a chance to reset here with inhib down, second inhib open, top lane wave state in the gutter, then it's probably just curtains. But with the Hextech Soul spawning for BLG in 30 seconds, it is not just their game to lose, but honestly it's their game to throw. They have to do something truly egregious and give WE a glorious way to walk this way down, because otherwise it's just done at this point. It's just done.
This would be a throw of biblical proportions, and by that I mean half of the solo queue games that I play. And I really don't think that's happening here, Melvin. 8 seconds until that aforementioned soul is up. And I mean, BLG may as well take it, right? It's not like you have anything better to do at this point. Shun has decided he does have something better to do. Monki does have Guardian Angel now, so even if he goes down, things should be fine. On over on the side with a nice pop blossom, and he manages to live through it all the same. Soul will not be on the menu here, Melvin, as it looks like BLG are going to end this game.
Oh, Bin running forward. Why do I hear boss music as WE's
Flashing
just flashing?
forward. All right, he misses his ultimate, but his big shield means that he will be just fine regardless. They will knock down Cube, pad some KDAs, and BLG just lay the smackdown on Team W.
Holy hyphy. It was more of a game than I think we had any expectation of it being, but nonetheless, the designed result will come up. BLG take game 1 against WE.
Now, we did say this was going to be difficult for Team WE. We did say we are just looking for Team WE to show us something. I have great news for Team WE fans out there. They did. They did show us something. I think that this is a strategy that they could replicate against teams not named BLG.
Yeah, 100%. I think that the comp worked well. The game plan made sense. It let Monki be Monki. He went in for a level 2 invade, put the Fear of God into Shun, and then was able to play blind on the other side of the map. You didn't know if he was going to gank top. He could do 3 camp top. He could 3 camp into mid. He could just full clear and be back bot lane, which has ended up what happening. But when you add so many question marks to the enemy team, it means everybody has to play a little bit more defensive. You can't push for those super aggro trades, and that's the way that you compensate and let your laners get an extra bit of lead in the game.
The one thing I didn't like, and that still needs work, is that bot lane was solid, but About and Arha need to work on the later portions of the laning phase a little bit. I think there were times where Viper and On got the better of them in situations where they really shouldn't have. Even, you know, with the lead that they had, they were not able to slam the door shut on that bottom lane. And I think if you're able to do that, we're looking at a very different game.
Yeah, that 2v2 play is really indicative of when the tempos start to swing back into BLG's favor. And it's something that absolutely can be improved upon. It was simple decision-making execution errors. Like you improve one slightly and suddenly that doesn't get to happen. And then the attempted bailout of the play from BLG does not happen. Or, better said, against a worse team than BLG, that bailout doesn't work. Or they don't think to fish for it. But when you're against the hands checkers, you've got to be ready for the hands to be checked.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One issue that I also took with Team WE here is that one dragon fight where they were not looking like they wanted to commit, the one that they got aced around 20 minutes. BLG was split there. You could have elected to attack one side of the pincer. It wasn't super split, but there was an area that you could have said, hey, we're just going to go in and we're going to try to fight their weak side and hope that we're able to blow them up and, you know, have a numbers advantage from then on. Instead, they elected to play it safe and wait. And, well, if you do that against BLG, they will always take the initiative, Melvin. They will run you
Yeah.
down, and they will kill you.
My lord, will they? I'm trying to just think about the performances from BLG as we try and guess at who is going to be getting that MVP. I'm expecting it to be Bin. I could see Shun. Knight, in retrospect, I don't think made a mistake that game from memory, so there's a lot of good options. I doubt it'll be the bot lane just because of how shaky the initial part of the early game was. But honestly, you could guess anyone at this point, and I would at least be able to see an angle for it.
So I think Shun kept this team afloat in the early game, and that's why I would give it to him. I think that if he is not able to go band for band early with some of these plays, this is actually a game that we might be talking very differently about.
I don't think it's a 22-minute game.
Yeah, I would be handing it to him before Bin. That being said, Bin was quite impressive as the game went on, and
Yeah.
you know, once he got out of a poor lane, really ran this one.
Absolutely. As soon as it got to those mid-game team fights, it was just nigh unplayable for a bout who had been doing a really good job up until that point with just maximizing damage on this Lucian, which is pretty much the only metric of if you're a good Lucian, is how much damage do you pump out before you either kill everybody or they come and get you. And honestly, a champion I want to see him on again. I think it was a really promising performance. But Shun and Bin just made it so difficult to play every fight after that point. This one stands out in my mind of just how do you do anything where you get knocked back by a Xin ult into an Ambessa ult and just killed from that. Like, what are you supposed to do as the ADC?
Yeah, and it's crazy because Team WE are the ones who end up getting split here. You know, BLG were the ones who were not completely together in the couple seconds before that fight actually started. And by the end of it, we're seeing a Nico ultimate on one side and Bin on the other side taking the lunch money of Team WE. That shouldn't happen. Team WE need to be a little bit more aggressive at times. I know they were behind. I know they were down at that point, but your comp still is only going to get outscaled more and more as the game goes on. You may as well take a fight at 20 minutes because at 25 minutes, it ain't going to get much better.
And as a matter of fact, their comp that they had was a lot better at going forwards than backwards.
Yeah.
So I think what we saw was a good start from WE to put something together. Now they just need to keep building on it. It is a progression. You can't just say, all right, WE, you played bad in the first two series, fix it for the third one. It's a building process. You have to set out, okay, how do we get through the early game? Do we do it via aggression? Do we try and scale it? Okay, opting into this side, that worked. Right, now we're at the mid game with these kind of champions. How do we execute on that? Was it because we didn't have enough dragon priority and that meant that BLG could kind of just force us to walk into fights where they weren't favourable? Okay, and it's just extra. The more that you go through and you iterate, that's how a new team has to come together and find an identity. And at least today, so far, WE have showed something. Can they do it 2 games in a row is a different question.
No doubt about it. And, you know, you had mentioned earlier in the draft about potentially going with the Milio, as we see Shun properly rewarded for the MVP. You said that maybe they would go toward the Milio. I think I actually would have really liked that because it would allow you to have Corki Nami for the next game if you want to go aggressive early again. So they will have to roll something else in the bot lane. Maybe they'll take a page out of the NIP book and go for a Tristana if they want some early aggression. That would be very nice.
Spicy.
But as long as Team WE has that identity, maybe tries to roll with it again, I think they might be in a spot where we can respect the gameplay that they bring today. With that, we are going to go ahead and take a short break. When we return, it'll be the Game 2 draft between BLG and